what a fantastic race we had this weekend around the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Nevada. The Pennzoil 400 was an absolute thriller. So as always here on the NASCAR Chronicle.com, let's dive into the 5 things that we learned, the 5 main highlights from this weekend's event in the NASCAR Cup Series. So we'll start with the very start of the race. Always helps to do that. Michael McDowell and Joey Logano were alongside each other on the front row, but it was Joey Logano who led in the early stages from this. However, it was Austin Cindric through the pit stops who won stage 1, the 9th different stage winner of the season. There were no repeats at this point in 2025. Of course, I know that Chris Bell has won 3 races in a row, but I'm talking about stage 1 and stage 2 victories. But that would soon change, of course, and I will just go into how that actually happened. But I want to shout out Ryan Blaney for my second one here, that, a second thing that we learned. He was making massive gains out on track. He was going so well, but it all unraveled for him. A bad pit stop and a loose wheel that was fitted to the car meant that he was effectively out of competitive running at that point. He was involved in a crash later on, which I will go into details about. But yeah, really a serial thing that seemed to happen quite a bit during this race. The wheels not being fitted correctly by mechanics. This happened to Chris Bell as well. He got actually quite lucky in a sense, because he ended up going out of the pit box with a loose wheel, a loose lug nut on his wheel, but he did go down to his teammate, the number 19 I believe it was. His pit crew then tightened that wheel. Now he did get a penalty for this, of course, but it didn't mean that he had to go out onto the track and actually risk a wheel falling off and another penalty and another caution and all that bad stuff happening there. Kyle Busch at the restart of one of these cautions too, he had a loose wheel. He got in his own race really nasty one. That it could have been very severe. Thankfully was not a terrible crash for him, and I think he did actually manage to continue, albeit about 30 laps down by the finish. But yeah, let's talk about stage 2. Let's talk about who won this. Now it was Bubba Wallace who led this stage at first, and he was being chased down by Kyle Larson, and because of all the chaos of the wheels falling off and everything like that, all the cautions, eventually the lead did change hands a few times. I think Eric Jones led for a little bit as well, but it was Larson who managed to come out on top in stage 2 and win that. The first repeat stage winner of 2025 was Kyle Larson. In the fourth thing that we learned in the third stage, we had the big one early on. It was impossible to tell from the limited kind of replays and stuff we got on Fox, or at least on the highlights anyway. It looked as though it was Ryan Blaney who started this, or at least was involved in the initial contact. Eric Jones in there as well, Stenhouse Jr. as well, he was involved in it as well, and quite a few cars did end up hitting the barriers. I don't think many people retired from it though, thankfully for them. But yeah, thankfully nobody really severely hurt from that, which is always what you want at the end of the day when these big crashes happen. But who won the race? Who ended up coming out on top? Well, it was Josh Berry. Not that long ago, the Wood brothers, they were struggling to survive in NASCAR. They entered into a partnership with Ford and also Penske as well. A family-run business, and competing in NASCAR, and to see them get their 101st victory in the Cup Series is absolutely fantastic. A great battle in the lead between Berry and Daniel Suarez, also, who was challenging for the lead in this one, and it ended up being Berry who came out on top. Berry in first position, Suarez second, Ryan Preece third, Ross Chastain fourth, William Byron fifth, Austin Cindric sixth, Alex Bowman seventh, AJ Allmendinger, the Dinger, with another top 10 you love to see. He was in 8th, Kyle Larson in 9th, and Chase Elliott was in 10th place, rounding out the top 10. Brad Keselowski just missing out on a top 10. And Chris Bell, he was 12th in the end, despite all those problems. He could have well been in there for a 4th victory in a row in the Cup Series, but it was not to be. Berry pretty much booking his place into the playoffs at the end of the season. You love to see it. I love to see it. An underdog story with the Wood brothers, of course, being so close to extinction. They're still in NASCAR. They're still competing, and they're still winning. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, what do you think about this race this weekend, guys? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, we'll see you soon for some more NASCAR Cup Series content here on the NASCARChronicle.com. As always, have a fantastic week, guys. I hope you had a great weekend. And yeah, see you very soon. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more content just like this here on the NASCARChronicle.com.